Hello and welcome to this Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor, and fun fact, this is my 7th time recording this intro because I kept messing it up. I finally done this time without messing up, so welcome along to the video. Loads of news to go through. We have some news around Florian Wirtz, basically how he's adapted to life at Liverpool and some insight into his personal life. We have a report from Kieran Maguire. He's a football finance expert about some of the ramifications if Liverpool don't qualify for the Champions League next season. We have some quotes from Virgil van Dijk, and we're going to ask the question, does he know? Does he know something? I will come back to that later, but does he know? I'll leave you with that one. We also have some links with Wolves' Matthias Mane coming from Sports Boom. You know Sports Boom, you know that really popular, reliable outlet Sports Boom. Who hasn't heard of Sports Boom? We also have some news around Trent Alexander-Arnold, a quote from Queevy and Kelleher, and a few other bits and pieces as well. So please do hit the like button before we get into it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and yeah, let's jump straight into the news. Let's start off with Kieran Maguire then, who said, Liverpool's robust approach to spending, impressive commercial growth, and a well-managed wage bill allows the club to avoid any significant crisis, even if they miss out on Europe, which is, yay, we're going to be alright if we miss out on Europe. So it's like, well, it's good to know, to be fair, that like the club isn't in a good enough standing that it's not going to completely capitulate if we don't get Champions League, but I still can't stress enough how drastically bad it will be if we miss out on Champions League this year. So just get Champions League spots. Don't let us find out how bad it could be. I'm sure Kieran Maguire is spot on in this, that like the club isn't going to go into administration or collapse or anything, but like it definitely helps to be in Europe, doesn't it? So again, Arna and the boys, please, if you could just finish top four, that will be greatly appreciated. In fact, we're even talking about missing out on Champions League, by the way. It's just bizarre. I still can't get my head around like how we're in this like spot. Like how are we actually like from the summer to here? It still blows my mind. Next up then, Lewis Steele did a piece today basically speaking about Florian Wirtz, how he's kind of adapted to life at Liverpool, how he's bulked up with muscle mass and stuff like that, and I just wanted to pick a few pieces out of that article to bring to you today. And he started with, Wirtz needed to bulk up. He has added several kilograms of muscle mass, between 3 and 4 kilos, and spent hour upon hour in the gym. The nutritionists love him as he is a big eater whose favourite protein-heavy meal of the day is eggs or pancakes for breakfast. So there you go. Florian Wirtz loves eggs, loves pancakes. What's not to love about the man? Like he's an egg lover like myself. Wirtz also enjoys playing paddle, find a footballer who doesn't, and taking his dog Zoomer for walks. He's a laid-back chap whose biggest annoyance in football came when he became a viral meme in Germany due to a video of him ranking types of potato in which he had baked as his number one. To be honest, I'm more of a roast potato man myself. Is that the same thing actually? Is a baked potato a roast potato, or is that a different thing? Okay, they are different things. I'm actually embarrassed I had to search that because like I'm Irish and potatoes are our things. But yeah, apparently he had baked number one and became a viral meme in Germany because apparently the Germans find potatoes very funny. Another bit from that article, and he said Wirtz, has slowly built a rapport with fellow former Bundesliga man Hugo Ekitike, the 15-goal top scorer who is lighting up the league after a £79 million move from Eintracht Frankfurt. And the two of them really are just lighting it up recently, aren't they? Like, you can put aside like the manager issues or whatever, if you want to blame Richard Hughes for poor squad management or Arne for poor tactics or whatever, but like, you can't escape the fact that Ekitike and Wirtz have been fantastic, even as a duo. Like their link-up play, little flicks, the assists to each other, it's just fantastic to see. And on top of that then, so Florian Wirtz now has 12 goals and assists for Liverpool this season, and Hugo Ekitike has 19. 19 goals and assists in his first season, and we're only in February, and 12 for Florian Wirtz, considering he didn't get his first until, what, like November or December. Like, the sky is the limit for these two, honestly. I can't talk enough about how much I love these two, and Alexander Isak is going to find it very hard to dislodge Hugo Ekitike if he can't start alongside him. Like, we have to figure out a way to just get the three of those on the pitch at some point. Can you imagine the carnage if all three of those are like fit and firing? Ooh. A few bits from the Virgil van Dijk interview then. He sat down with Gary Neville for Sky Sports, basically discussing all things Liverpool in this season, and basically it was just an ad for the jacket he's wearing. All the comments are just about when's the jacket out, when's the jacket out. If you haven't seen it, it is absolutely stunning, and I'm sure the club will release it very soon if they're allowing him to wear it in interviews. But yeah, it is a 10 out of 10 top, and I will definitely be wearing it on here once it does come out. So now that we've talked about the very important retro jacket, let's move on to the less important quotes. I am joking, of course. I do take Virgil van Dijk's words very seriously. He said, I want to play Champions League football. Everyone else wants to play it as well, so we're working very hard to make sure that we do that. I still feel like this season could be special. We're in the Champions League and the FA Cup still. And to be fair, like, he's not wrong there. Like, if we could win a Champions League, that would be fairly special. Just, would you really back us to win it? I think like we have a decent chance, but I wouldn't really be going as far as to say we're favourites or anything. But look, he's not wrong in what he's saying. It still can be a special season if we can turn it around from here. If we can pick up some silverware, it would do absolutely no harm to the fan base. Lift our spirits, especially if it's the Champions League. That would change everything really, wouldn't it? Now I want to go on to a quote here, so I'm going to read this out first, and I want you to kind of have a think of like what way you're interpreting his words, and then I'll come back to my point from the very start of the video. So Virgil van Dijk on the criticism of Arne Slot, he says, "Criticism for the season we are having is well deserved because of the way we have been playing at times, the way we've been losing games on the bounce. That's just not the standard we set, especially last year. But you have criticism and you have disrespect. It depends on what you feel, because I got asked a question last week as well about do I think the disrespect is deserved. And I feel like I don't know because I don't read it all times. We're in the process of things and I feel like it just takes time. I don't think Liverpool, from what I know, is a club making rash decisions, and trusting the process. But I know how the world works and I know the pressure that managers are on, and are obviously held responsible and accountable as well for the results that we are getting, so I still feel that it's a process. I still feel like he deserves, in my eyes, the respect and the chance to make sure that the process is going to be ended in a positive way." Now, what do you make of that? I'll give you just a few seconds to think about what that last sentence in particular. I still feel like he deserves, in my eyes, the respect and the chance to make sure that the process is going to be ended in a positive way. Because, like, all the comments on this post on X, like, Anfield Sector had this quote up, so shout out to them. Like, all the comments are saying, like, does Van Dijk know something here? Does he know Arne Slot has gone in the summer? Like, I think it's just the word ended he used at the end there. Like, is it like he wants Arne Slot to have a good send off? I wouldn't really read it that way, to be honest. Like, I think it's more just him saying the process is ongoing, and by the time the process has ended, like the transition or whatever, that will be good, and we should be given the chance to basically end the process in a positive way. Meaning, like, we will be good by the time that everything settles down, and maybe next season we kick on. I think that's what he's trying to say, rather than hinting that he knows that Arne Slot has gone. Because I'm sure if there was anything in that interview that would like even nearly suggested something like that, I'm sure the club would have been all over it saying, yeah, get that cut. You can't be saying that. So yeah, I don't really read it that way, to be honest. I think like people are jumping the gun and trying to pick something out of nothing in that one. But do let me know, what do you think of that? Do you think he could be hinting at that, or do you agree with me that it's probably just meaning the end of the process as a happy ending, as in we become good again, basically? I want to move on to Caoimhín Kelleher then. Of course, former Red, is now at Brentford. He was speaking about the Diogo Jota situation and basically like Liverpool as a whole this season, and he said, "Listen, from an individual aspect, for me to leave and play first team football was obviously right. Never mind the tragedy that happened. I stay in touch with some of the guys there. I have a lot of good friends there. It's a very difficult time for them, a difficult season, with circumstances that people probably aren't taking into account too much. But it's probably been a bit easier for me, being away from it and not being in such close proximity to it every day. I find it a bit strange and a bit difficult when I hear people speaking about the players at Liverpool and their performances, because I don't think this season is even important from a football aspect for them, to be honest. It's more about them personally and mentally. Obviously, football is a massive sport and people have an opinion, which is natural. People expect you to move on quite quickly. I don't think that's the case." Look, ultimately, I do fully understand where Caoimhín's coming from. Like, the players will still be in the grieving process. Like, it's not a linear thing. It's not something that goes away or might never go away. Like, it's from my own personal experience of grief. Like, it does just hit you at random times, even years on and stuff. And like, it isn't, like I said, a linear thing. But on the flip side, like, I'm sure the players themselves wouldn't want to use it as an excuse. I'm sure that like they are being as professional as they can in the circumstances. And like, ultimately, look, football is important to people, but obviously like the mental health of people and just like dealing with these things like is more important than football at the end of the day. But like, fans use this as an escape, and I'm sure the players do as well. Like, they want to win, like regardless of what's going on in their personal lives and stuff. Like, even you see Kanate's father dying and then he coming back and scoring a goal, and like, it's just, you see the release that he gets from that as well. Like, so I'm sure the players want to win things this season for Diogo as well. I'm sure they wouldn't want to use it as an excuse, and they never have, to be fair. They've never like brought up to be like, cut some slack here. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't want to be taught that way, and I'm sure they wouldn't want to use Diogo's memory as an excuse either. But yeah, I just thought I'd want to read out that bit from Caoimhín, because like, obviously some of the players will be struggling more than others. A lot of the players at the club now weren't here with Diogo, but I'm sure like the effect of it all is still being felt around the halls of the AXA Training Centre every day. Even the dressing room like still has Diogo's locker there as well, and the fans like always sing a song and stuff. So like, it is still hanging over their heads, I'm sure. But again, I'm sure the players themselves wouldn't want to use that as an excuse. But yeah, I get where Caoimhín's coming from with that one. Next up then, the ever reliable Sport Boom. Like we said, boom boom, guys. If you get that reference, please let me know in the comments below. Boom boom. Man United and Liverpool have both held talks over a move for Matheus Mane, with the 18-year-old attracting serious interest. The Wolves midfielder could command a fee of around £50 million as discussions continue. Now, he is a player that has been linked with Liverpool a few times, nothing like too reliable to be fair, but I'd say it's one to keep an eye on. If he keeps hitting the levels he looks like he can hit, I'm sure there will be a lot of big clubs sniffing around him, but I just fail to see us go out and spend £50 million on an 18-year-old. So one to keep an eye on, but yeah, I wouldn't say this is coming from a reliable source or anything. So yeah, one to keep an eye on, but probably don't get your hopes up too much just yet. Two quick bits then to end the video. So Graham Bailey has said that although Trent Alexander-Arnold's future is already in doubt at Real Madrid, Liverpool have no intention of entering the conversation for their former vice-captain, even if he becomes available. So according to Graham Bailey, if he does become available, we won't be there. That doesn't surprise me in all honesty. Like, I'm sure, one, he probably won't leave in the summer. I'm sure Madrid won't give up on him that quickly. And two, I just don't think we'd want to go in and have to spend whatever 50, 60, 70, 80 million. God only knows what he would go for, but I'm sure the club are in no rush to bring him back so quickly and for a large fee. Maybe down the line, once the kind of hatred or the vitriol has kind of simmer down a little bit. Maybe he does come back at some point in his career, maybe on a free as well. But yeah, I would be very, very surprised if Liverpool went to go look to spend huge amounts of money to bring him back this summer. So yeah, I'd put that one firmly in the not happening category. Finally then, Dean Jones has been saying that Real Madrid are going hunting in the Premier League. Plenty of Liverpool players are of interest. Alexis McAllister is the latest, but Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai and Ibrahima Konate have all been mooted. I'm sure I've seen reports in recent months of Madrid kind of sniffing around these players. It does seem like they're not too interested in Konate anymore, hence they basically told him flat out they're not going to be signing him back in, what was that, like November or December. Alexis McAllister, of course, he's been linked with him a lot. Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai mentioned at times, but again, not too tenuous, nothing too reliable either, so I wouldn't start to worry about just yet, but one to keep in mind that Real Madrid are sniffing around a lot of our better players. That's all from me anyway. If you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Craig's Man City preview will be out around 7 PM, so keep an eye out for that one. And then we'll be live then Sunday 3:15 for the watch long, Liverpool versus Man City. Leave your score predictions in the comments below. I'm going to go 3-1 win. I'm going to be optimistic. Do let me know if you agree with me or not on that one. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.